Welcome back to Bacon Wrapped Business. This is Brad Costanzo. As if you were expecting somebody else, as you know, my name is in the title. So I figured you guys would want to tune into a conversation that I wanted to have anyway. And actually, this is a continuation of a conversation I had about a week ago with somebody I was introduced to by my good friend and former guest on the show, George Bryant. So today I brought on Jesse Krieger to talk about the intersection of NFTs, which if you're not familiar with them, you've been probably hiding under a rock, but we're going to go over what non-fungible tokens are, which are a part of the blockchain crypto craze that's happening right now. But we're going to talk about how content creators, experts, businesses, brands, artists, et cetera, can use these to really capitalize on a brand new technology and avenue that has never existed before. It's in its birth. Anybody who says they're a total expert on NFTs is wrong because it's changing every day and we're all learning. But Jesse is far ahead of me in this. So I wanted to bring him on and talk about what his business, both the Lifestyle Entrepreneurs Press, where he publishes business owners and entrepreneurs and helps them get their book and their message to the world, but also how that relates to Powerfan.io, his NFT marketplace and platform. I was blown away on our last conversation, and I hope that you guys will be blown away. And even if you do not listen to this entire episode like you should, I will be, and you'll miss out if you don't understand what's coming and is going to change the world of business and art in the very, very near future. At the end of this, or the second half, I'm going to invite my friend Ori Bengal on, who's an artist, and we're going to actually brainstorm with Jesse about ways that he can utilize NFTs in his own art. So without any further ado, Jesse Krieger, welcome to Bacon Wrap Business.
Thanks, Brad. Excited to be here, and I will do my best to live up to that introduction.
Okay, so question one, how do we all get rich on NFTs?
Okay, no, so step number one. No.
Yeah. So let's talk about a little bit more. Preface what we're going to talk about, but let's go into your background. You're a publisher. You've helped people bring their books out. Let's talk about that first, and then we'll dovetail into how this relates with content creators and authors and NFTs. So give me a little bit of that.
Absolutely. So 10 years ago, I started writing a book, Lifestyle Entrepreneur, Live Your Dreams, Ignite Your Passions, and Run Your Business from Anywhere in the World. And so I came into the author space after my 20s as an entrepreneur, traveling a lot, founding different businesses, and decided to put it all down in a book. And that became a pivotal moment as I transitioned into being an author and ultimately a book publisher. And so went through the process twice as an author. I had my first publisher in Southeast Asia. Book came out. I toured around Malaysia, Singapore, spoke at book fairs, became #2 business bestseller in the region, got a US publishing deal, updated the book. It came out. I thought they were going to put me on stage going all over the place, and it was like crickets. So then I was like, decision point. I could claim victory and move on, do something else, or really figure out book marketing. And I chose that route, relaunched the book, did better. And then some of my friends that were working on books started asking for advice. One thing led to another, and they said, can you just do it for me? And I started to say yes. That birthed Done For You Publishing, which for the last 6.5, 7 years has been just a full suite service that we've offered to authors, entrepreneurial authors, publish their books, get them out, and use it as a business development tool. And so yeah, go ahead. But that's
no, I love that. So then where, when, and what gave you the first taste or interest in NFTs, and like how did that start to lead into what is now Powerfan?
Sure. I remember a good friend of mine in March 2017 messaged me, hey man, buy as much Ethereum as you can. I was like, why? He goes, because it's going up, silly.
Yeah, that's the only reason you need.
It was like $80 or something then.
Oh, you got in back then?
Well, yeah, I got sold, bought, sold. So I got really exposed to crypto in 2017 when that bull market was happening. I was reading white papers, investing in pre-ICOs and all that fun stuff. And then it was like crypto winter for a couple years, 2018, 19 into 20. Oh. But then towards the end of last year, I started to hear more about NFTs. Some of my friends that were in different prominent positions in business and in crypto were talking more about it. So I started to pay attention, and I took a few positions in companies like Sandbox, Engine Coin, Decentraland, Mana, and a couple others. And over the subsequent 3 to 4 months, those did very well. And in that same time, was invited to basically co-found Powerfan with a longtime friend who's a blockchain developer and a third person, Matt, who's a data scientist. And away we went. For the last, for most of this year, 2021, we've been building Powerfan platform. We've now got our NFT minting capabilities online. We've got an initial token sale for the PFAN token, that's the operative cryptocurrency on the platform, and some exciting stuff coming soon. But
Nice.
it's like you said in the intro, anyone who says they're an expert on NFTs, it's what, 1 year of experience? So
Exactly. The nice part is it doesn't take that long to actually get ahead of 99% of the people out there. So let's back up for anybody who is like, what is he saying? Nifty? This is nifty. What is an NFT and how are they used?
sure. So an NFT stands for a non-fungible token, which is another way of saying a unique digital asset. Verifiable who owns it. You can track the chain of custody from creation to the current owner, and it exists on a publicly visible ledger,
The
just
blockchain.
like a cryptocurrency does. But the non-fungible means that, like, say you have a piece of art that's worth $1,000, you can't cut it into 1,000 pieces and have each piece be worth $1. So its value is inherent in its unique fixed form.
Right.
So that
And
could be a piece of art. Or go
unlike
ahead.
a dollar bill, like if I have a dollar bill and you have a dollar bill, we exchange that. It's exchangeable. There was no loss. But if I give you a painting and you give me a dollar, like that painting is non-fungible, right? It's
Yeah,
not, yeah, you
currency
can't
is
divide it
fungible.
up. Right. You can't divide it up and it's unique.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Cool.
So when you hear of like Bitcoin and Ethereum, those are fungible tokens. One Bitcoin is one Bitcoin is one Bitcoin. But an NFT is a unique asset, that has the same attributes of verifiable ownership and cryptocurrency security, except it exists in as its own right. So this can be like a certificate of authenticity that represents a real world asset, just as it could represent a video game character that's attributed to a certain player. And as they pass more levels in the game, the character has more attributes, and those are themselves parts of the NFT.
I love that. Now, so this is the point where in my show uh, I like to forget that I have listeners, and I like to tell them like you're gonna just hear me talk about stuff I want to know. So if you're brand new to this, what is cryptocurrency? Yeah, once more, you've been hiding under a rock. What are NFTs? How do I get a primer? Like I can't wrap my head around it. This is where I was like 2 weeks ago. I found an amazing thread on Twitter of somebody putting together it's a thread of threads of like really big experts and influencers talking about what are NFTs, how can they be used in all these different areas. I'm going to link in the show notes to that. I highly recommend you go check it out and just kind of, through some tweets, you'll kind of start to get it. But the bottom, before we get into real use cases and how do we, like, we're going to start to strategize. Um, I just want people to understand, yes, an NFT is a digital asset, a token that can convey value in different ways, whether it's proof of ownership, like people selling a piece of art saying I bought this art for 100,000, $1 million, and there's verifiable proof that I bought it. So I'm flexing, instead of flexing a Rolex, I'm flexing my digital painting that I can prove that I bought for 20 ETH or whatever. That's one way to do it. But as we're going to get into this, NFTs can they can be an access token for special experiences. They are smart contracts, which have if this then that capabilities, where you can determine how much money you make on the resale of something. We're going to dive into that. And they can really do some things that no other technology has been able to do before. So as you're listening to this, you may think, wait, what are they talking about there? Go read the other stuff, but just listen closely and maybe listen to this twice, because that improves my downloads. But I want to get in now. Let's talk about Powerfan. Let's talk about how people are using NFTs and how they should be, not even how they are using it, but how they could be and should be using this as we go forward. So a little bit more on Powerfan, and then let's talk strategery.
Absolutely. So I mentioned my background in book publishing and as an author, and in one shape or form, I've been involved in creative industries like forever. So that intersects with blockchain because at Powerfan, we're all about giving authors, creators, artists the power back. And what does that actually mean? Well, like I'll give you an illustration. If we sell a book through Amazon that we publish, we're giving away like 70% of the list price of that book during that sale for printing, distribution, fees, etc. But like with a NFT transaction or a cryptocurrency transaction, the author and the creator captures almost 100% of that transaction value instantly. The other piece there is like, as a publishing company, if we're selling books, we're collecting that money and then we do a royalty statement and pay the author. But when you sell an NFT, if you create and mint and sell an NFT, you're collecting that payment instantly and at the point of transaction. So we're playing in this space to bring NFTs and blockchain technology to creators, to authors to do books like special edition book NFTs, with course creators to sell their course as an NFT. So the NFT unlocks the course content. This introduces things where you can now resell the course after you take it, and a percentage of that secondary transaction and every subsequent transaction can flow a royalty back to the creator.
Automatically, right?
Automatically,
No
instantly.
third-party intermediary. You don't have to wait to get paid. It happens the minute the transaction's been done, right?
That's correct. And you mentioned smart contracts. That's just another way to say that programmed into these NFTs are a royalty that goes to a certain address, a wallet address, at whenever a transaction takes place. So it eliminates the need for even a publisher like myself to collect revenue, do an accounting statement, and pay out. We can program in the royalties at the minting, and then as they're transacted, this is one of the real transformational aspects of this technology, Brad, is that it's never been possible to collect royalties on a secondary market sale for creative works. If you sell a CD as a musician and your fan sells it to 5 other people, you're not going to know about that or see revenue. If we publish a book, you buy it, then you go sell it to the thrift store. Author and publisher don't know about that, and so on and so forth. So with NFTs, you get that chain of custody and that automatic transaction royalty, which I think is just incredible.
Well, and what's beautiful about that is now that the community, your customers or the community or your collectors or fans, whatever, now that they own something of yours that is valuable to them for whatever reason, but is ideally going to be valuable to others as well. So I'm not just buying an NFT just because, I mean, I could be just passionate, I just want it, but at that point, the NFT doesn't really have as much value. But the fact that this becomes valuable in the secondary market, it's very liquid. There are open auctions where you can sell it. You can sell it individually, or you can put it on an auction. It now behooves your fans to really build you up and your value, because the more value that you build up for the person you own their NFT, the more valuable my stuff is. So for instance, like, I think we talked about this, but like, let's say I'm a new singer, an artist, and I release an album, and it's my first album. Right now I'm nobody big, but I've got 1,000 true fans, and they each buy my NFT. And for maybe it's a royalty rights or part royalty rights to the song, right? Like, because you can do that. Well, if I go win a Grammy, then all of you NFT holders, all of a sudden the NFT that you own gets much, much, much more valuable. And it behooves them to be on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram promoting you and telling all their friends about you, because as you succeed, their early investment in you succeeds, right?
That's definitely a great example of a use case. And like, it's true with almost any kind of collectible, right? If you got a Michael Jordan rookie card the year he started playing, then he was a rookie like anyone else. But now 10 years go by and he's one of the best players in history. That same card is worth a lot more.
Yep.
And so it's a way for fans to have a real piece of equity and ownership in their favorite creators, in their favorite authors, their favorite artists. And like the example you gave, if for no other reason, time goes on and they become more prominent or awarded, then that could be a reason it goes up in value. But what we'll get into, or I hope to share here, is like where we're playing is value added
Bingo.
NFTs. So an author that has a book and now it unlocks exclusive content, maybe even training material, possibly even a one-on-one or a personalized interaction or experience with that creator.
Okay. Yeah, let's dive into that, because one of the questions I'll ask, yeah, it can serve as, we can use a use case, but I write a book and I say, this is the bacon wrap book of business success. And I guess take me through an example here. So I could do I sell every book as an NFT, or maybe do I do a special edition, like the first 1,000 copies are NFT? Like, let's start with the most foundational way that I might structure that, especially if I'm using Powerfan, because I know I can do that on your site.
Yeah, I give you a great example. So if you think of, well, we want to have a limited quantity. So there's some scarcity. It's not just about selling your book as an NFT. I would say it's about having a limited edition. So say there's 100 special edition book NFTs, and each one of these is numbered 1 to 100, and each one of it unlocks a training course, perhaps a group coaching or access to your community, and anything else that you'd want to offer. But if you do a limited edition of 100, now there's an initial sale, they're promoted, but let's say 1,000 people wanted one. So those 100 are going to sell out. Now they can start being transacted amongst fans and creating this, mini economy, this fan economy, after the initial launch is done. So that's
Right.
one use case.
Well, okay, and that brings up a good point, because and you answered it perfectly. It was kind of a rhetorical question for me, but it was like, well, you can do that anyway, because people have been doing that, especially entrepreneurs have been doing that for years, which is buy my book, and everybody who buys my book, or the first 100 or 1,000, will get access to this course and this course. People bonus their books up all the time, and you don't need an NFT to unlock that. It's just, hey, the purchase, my email sends this to you. But what you brought up, which was really brilliant, is that making it limited, making it an event, kind of a launch, right? Or what I guess we call it a minting in NFT world. It can create a little bit of a fan frenzy. People want that. They do a mad rush, and if they get it, awesome. If they don't get it, they can turn around. Can they? Because I know like sites like OpenSea and other ones, you can do this. I would imagine you can do it on Powerfan. Can I take that back and relist it for sale and just go, okay, I was one of the first lucky ones to get it, but I don't need all these bonuses. I'm going to put this up and let people bid on my NFT.
Oh yeah. After any NFT that's minted on Powerfan has been sold or purchased, then it can be listed on OpenSea, Rarible. It can be listed anywhere. But you mentioned something, and I've got a ton of experience doing book launches where we're like, buy 10 books and you'll get my course.
Yep.
But think about just technically, the fulfillment on that is buy the books, forward your receipt, and you'll get access.
Yeah.
With the NFT, you purchase it, it's in your wallet, and within the NFT, you access the course. And if it's transacted again, you're sharing the course and the key.
Now that comes from the feature of unlockable content, right?
That's exactly right. So that it's a self-contained asset instead of this big bonus stack, and then you've got to send somebody logins and links and other things for them to access all their bonuses. The NFT literally unlocks, and then you access natively in that asset.
Oh, that's beautiful. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and once more, depending on how valuable you can make your community and the bonuses, et cetera, you can create a community of fans who can bid that up, make it even more valuable. The more valuable it gets, that now it becomes social proof, and it becomes this virtuous cycle of more people want it, the more that proves that I'm,
Can I give one more illustration and an example that's on topic here? So if you did those 100 books, and that's your limited series, there's only 100, at the same time you're launching that, you could have an auction running. And this is the strategic part, is like, if you've got a limited number of fixed price NFTs, but you're also doing an auction, and the auction, whoever wins, they get the full enchilada, like whatever it is that you could fully do to transform someone's business or whatnot. So
a singular one of one, like super thing.
Yeah. So you get a one of one NFT, but that could include like 3 months of hands-on coaching to to re-engineer your business systems, or a custom piece of art, or like what we've seen with Blau. There's an electronic music artist. He did an auction, and whoever won got a co-production credit for a new song. So now say you want to break into music, you win this auction, you own an NFT, and you get to co-produce a song with a award-winning artist. That would probably make it easier to do that second song with someone else, right? To be like, hey, I just wrapped up this song with Blau, let's collab. So there's ways that you can give people more than just your own time, your own expertise, but you can help them get on the map or get established in the process of supporting your launch.
That is super cool. Yeah, the other thing that I've noticed, so these NFTs, obviously they can unlock content, and some of them are going to be more resellable than others, right? So some of the things there's going to be a better secondary market for than another, like just unlocking a course or doing something like that. Like, that may work for some people, it may not. But what I've also seen is, instead of just unlocking content, I've seen people say, in order to redeem this, you simply burn it, which means send it back to me. So you're going to buy it, and then when you run, like you and I talked about this offline, there was another podcast host who said, I'll interview you for like 5 minutes, but there's an auction for this NFT, and it's a 1 of 1. And in order to redeem it and be interviewed on my show, you basically, after you buy it, send it back to me whenever you want, and you will then get access to my booking page or whatever. So that's another way, is just to, like, they burn it and they remove it out from existence so nobody else can use it. But that's only one option. The other option is, well, hey, look, I did this. Now let me sell it to somebody else. So you could do this with both.
Between those, the burning it just seems kind of strange to me, although I totally get it.
Yeah.
But I love the aspect of having something that exists ongoing and can generate additional royalties.
That's what I would do too, especially for, and I don't know, all my podcast listeners, you guys may see me do this too. But let's say I'm, offering up 5 minutes of fame on my show, and Ori buys it for $10,000, and then Ori gets a lot of use out of it. Well, that's cool, because that unlocked it. Now Ori can go out and sell that and say, look, I just paid $10,000 to be on Bacon Wrap Business. Who else wants one? There's only one of these things, right? Like, so he can sell it to somebody else. Now he could sell it for $500 if he wants, and I can program.
You could set a floor price at the outset.
Oh, I can set a floor price.
You could, yeah. So if you're offering 5 minutes of fame, as long as you set a minimum price, people could sell it. Now that person gets 5 minutes. Sells it for more money, that person gets 5 minutes.
As long as it's at least like 5,000. Like, yeah, I set the floor.
And you know that whatever that percentage is worth your time to honor it in the future.
Beautiful. Okay, yeah. So I sell it for, I start bidding at $5,000 or whatever, $500. It gets bid up. Ori, who you're going to hear from soon, is the winning bidder. He decides to spend $10,000, and then he decides to resell it. Well, he may be able to sell it for 10,000 or 20,000 or $1 million, but he has to at least sell it for 5,000, because that's the floor price that I personally set. And in Powerfan, I can set it so that it says any secondary purchase, I can make up to, I think, 50% of the sale, right?
Correct.
So, hey, or he sells it for 10,000, 20, he sells it for $20,000. He basically gets his money back, and I get another 10. Like, that's pretty revolutionary in what you can do with that.
And the person that bought it gets access to the opportunity. So that's an example of a triple win.
Yeah. I can see actually, I can see an entire podcast being launched around this concept.
I don't want to give away the farm here, but one thing we're exploring with podcasts, and where I think there's opportunity, is each episode becomes an NFT, and whoever the guest is contributes something that's unlockable bonus. So if I'm on the show, and if you want to do this, we could do it. I'm saying it here, and I'll honor it. If this becomes an NFT, whoever gets this NFT will get 2,500 PFAN tokens as part of the unlockable content of this NFT. So that's an example of bringing a guest on. You say to them, hey, what could you give our audience, to one lucky winner? And then that becomes an episode NFT. So
that's
pretty cool, right? Like, ways to increase engagement and competition amongst listeners and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
And as a guest, like that's super compelling to know that not only is it an interview, but there's like a chance to connect with someone in the audience that's super motivated.
Absolutely. And if, I mean, and ideally, you can get people maybe bidding on that, right? So, yeah, this episode gets posted on Powerfan, and then, once it
It could be
drops,
like 24 hours after, you know, you could have an auction of like 24 hours after this episode drops is your opportunity, or any combination thereof.
yeah, that is really powerful. Um,
Or you'd be like, like, comment, and share on the episode, or leave a review, and I'm going to pick my favorite review to win this NFT. So you could drive engagement and then award it to someone for free, or have people, bid to buy it.
right.
You go either way.
Okay. Now, so when it comes to so books is one thing. And if I remember this right, so I'm launching my book. I mean, and I'm actually thinking through the technicals of how to do this, right? So most book launches, depending on who you are, you're either going to just sell it on Amazon, or if you're one of the entrepreneurs and people that that we all deal with, they're probably going to start selling it on their own site, both digital and maybe physical copies. Some people like to do free plus shipping offers. Some people like to do buy the book and I'll bonus you up. And obviously, this is one way to do it. So let's walk through. Let's say I had a book ready to go. So I would use Lifestyle Entrepreneur Press to publish my book, ideally, and then the book would be for sale either on my own site or on another page that's set up. The book is not necessarily sold on Powerfan, right? It's sold elsewhere.
Yeah, we'll get there in terms of we're gonna have a power player that it will be a digital ebook reader and an audiobook listener that's connected with the platform.
Mm,
But in terms of selling a book, what you'd want to do is have the NFT, and then whoever gets the NFT will get a copy of the book, and then you'd ship it to them. So you'd unlock content like, where do I send this copy of your book? Maybe a signed copy, right? Or like a
okay.
personally signed copy.
So right now you could have what your own like web page, but you could also on that web page it says, you can buy my book for $9 and you'll get a book. And you could go over to Powerfan and buy the NFT for this book, which not only gets you a signed copy of the book, but it gets all this other stuff.
Yeah. So and for that, at least now with the gas fees and other transaction costs, you'd want something around $100. So if you're like, for $97, you'll get a personally signed copy of my book, a digital training course, and access to our community. Now you've got some positioning to make that higher price, or you could say limited quantity. But in the near future, we'll get to a point where you could sell like an ebook, and the transaction costs will be low enough
Yeah.
where a
Well, and I
10
guess right now
$20
on Ethereum, the gas fees are really high, but there are other blockchains that are, they're not as popular as Ethereum, obviously, but like Solana and other stuff and whatnot, you technically could overcome the gas fee, but you're just using a less popular blockchain, right?
Well, no, we're using Ethereum, which is the gold standard. And so
Right.
they have it works well for higher priced assets,
Yeah.
but where we'll get pretty soon here is, just like with all technology, time goes on, transaction costs, processing speeds go faster.
Yeah. With the ETH 2.0 coming out, it's going to make things a lot cheaper. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
With course creators, is it kind of this? It's basically the same thing. So let's say I'm selling a course on how to grow your business, and it's on my website. You can buy it. So, I mean, I guess one way I could do it is, I mean, I could technically sell it just, hey, you need an NFT to buy it, to even access the course. It's only accessible through NFT, right?
Yeah.
Or another version would be, you can buy the course here, or you can go, choice B is you can go over here and buy an NFT where you get course plus bonus, 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 bonus. But there would be two separate paths that they could take, right?
Yeah, so if the course already exists and
Yeah.
it's hosted somewhere, then a simple solution would be, unlockable content is a link to register an account without paying, or a coupon code. But the more advanced is, if it's the first time the course is being launched, the NFT itself could unlock and allow you to access the course content.
Mm-hmm.
Um, And so that's where we're arriving now. And I think that'll become even more prevalent and better
Well,
user experience. But that way you could say as part of your marketing, buy the course, get the bonuses, and when you're done, sell it to our community and recover part of your purchase price.
I love that.
So now they've got an off ramp, right? How many of us have bought a course? We haven't even consumed half of it, and there's no way to even resell it. But if it's a quality course, there's a limited quantity, and people consume it and then sell it, then then that course is like circulating out there in whatever quantity it exists in. And if people want it, they buy it off someone who's got it, and you get a piece of that as the creator. They get a part of their purchase price recovered, and somebody else can buy it perhaps at a discount from the original offered price.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. All right. Now, one of the things that I loved about Powerfan, I think this is going to be especially for people who are kind of thinking about this. This will be especially good. So, on most platforms, in order, this is still so bleeding edge. Like, I'm a big crypto investor, but I had never bought an NFT until last week, right? But or a couple weeks ago. The average book buyer, the average course buyer, probably doesn't have an Ethereum address, may not even have crypto. Like, this is cool, but I don't have this stuff. And that's a barrier to entry because it's a lot of friction. So
We got you covered.
yeah, tell us about that.
If you got PayPal, if you have a credit card, if you have a debit card, you can buy NFTs on Powerfan. So we are very aware that not everybody's got a crypto wallet that's topped up with Ethereum ready to rock, but there's more and more people that are interested in NFTs, and they're treated differently than a token. So you could process a credit card transaction and sell an NFT, and that's exactly what we do. But then on the back end of that purchase, we do need that Ethereum address to send them the NFT. So we can send them the NFT after they buy it, but if you purchase it with an Ethereum wallet, then it's in your wallet as soon as the transaction happens. That was a little bit of a technical explanation, but the simple one is if you go to our site and you click purchase on an NFT, you'll see PayPal, Venmo, credit card,
That's awesome.
and then also MetaMask.
Well, it's a good way to just get into it. It's like, okay, I've heard about this. I don't want to do all this. All right, I'll just buy the NFT and then you'll walk me through how to set it up. All right, cool. And now I'm in the game, right? So this is helping to create more mass adoption for people. And I think that's really important because, like, I know if I told my parents are a different story, but if I told my parents to go buy an NFT or something, like, what? Like, they don't have an Ethereum address and all this other stuff. So I think that's amazing. Now, in a moment, we're going to open this up and I'm going to introduce you to Ori. But one of the things I noticed on your site here is you have a featured artist, Jun Aquino, who this is probably your first artist on here. I'm just kind of looking at their, actually, while we're
Oh yeah, check it out. I'll tell you what we're doing with them.
yeah, let's see. While we're talking here, I am going to share my little screen. You guys see my screen? Do you see it? You guys are on mute.
Yeah, I
Oh,
see
cool.
it.
So
But it's
here,
your Finder. Yeah.
yep. So here we're going through. Now I clicked onto his site. So Gina Aquino is an artist and he's got multiple pieces for sale. So let's talk about this. Now, is this pure art or is there
the site, the page that I'm seeing on your screen share is like your bookmarks. I'm not seeing the actual
my
page.
bookmarks? Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Let me try it again. So for anybody just listening, apologize. All right, tell me, do you see the page now?
That's the one.
Oh yeah.
Cool. All right. So Jun Aquino, this is on powerfan.io. And if you're only listening, that's fine. You're not going to miss too much. You can go to powerfan.io and click on Jun Aquino. But there's like 5 different pictures of what is that, Manny Pacquiao and some other boxers. So tell me about the story of this, because this is art. Is it?
Sure. Click that top left one there. That one.
Yep.
And so if you're just listening, we did a launch for Manny Pacquiao paintings. So Jun Aquino, aka the Painter of Champions, longtime friend of Manny's, but he's also painted Conor McGregor. He's painted Mike Tyson. So he's a painter for boxers.
Okay.
And so what you can,
Is he historically very popular or not really?
June, more behind the scenes.
Okay.
So part of what we're doing is doing this launch to bring more awareness to him and his painting, and to use NFT technology. So
Lovely.
like with this one, you could see somebody purchased the first one. So now you'd be buying number 2 of 10,
Yep.
right above that purchase box. And when you click purchase, just to illustrate, you can see purchase with MetaMask, but also PayPal, Venmo.
Awesome.
You could even pay later and do PayPal credit. So there's no barrier to entry to purchase. And as you saw in the description, or if you click, I think if you went back, there was a text description on the previous page, but this includes a lithograph print. Yeah, that one. So this includes a custom print, a personalized video behind the scenes of this painting, and early access to future launches.
Yep.
So you can see that we're describing there what's included.
Now, question. So I believe you can do this too. So let's say I bought this NFT, and then June decides I'm going to do what's called an airdrop. And you can explain what this is. But I've heard of other artists doing this. I think Bored Ape Yacht Club did this famously, where it's like, but if you buy a certain NFT, that entitles you to future free NFTs from the same artist that they can just airdrop. Like if they know that you've done this, I can just send you a bonus. Like later on, you're going to also get an access to the one I'm working on right now, right? That's a thing?
Yeah, exactly. So with this, what you described, you can totally do. And here we're just saying you get first look or early access to any future launches, which leads me to my next point. We're about to launch an auction with this artist for a signed copy of a painting by Manny Pacquiao and Yordenis Ugas. So it was the painting commemorating his last fight.
Oh, wow.
For any boxing fans, Manny just retired. He's running for president of the Philippines. So now we're literally going to auction the painting duly signed from his last fight as an NFT, but whoever wins it also gets the physical signed painting. So whoever
awesome.
bought from this launch will get first access, first crack at that.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, okay, let me ask you this. So June, or anybody who creates an NFT, it's free to create one, right? Okay. Yeah. And I sell it. I sell my NFT for 1 ETH, which is at today's price about $3,000. Hopefully 6 months from now it'll be twice that. But the how much do I get as the creator? How much does Powerfan take?
So we have 2 models. If someone's tech savvy, you can use the platform, create and sell your NFTs. There's no cost, and we just take a 2.5% transaction fee.
Okay.
But what you're looking at here, this is our white glove service. So with Jun Aquino, we signed an agreement where we created the presentation, we built out his profile, we're helping come up with the offer structure. That's also no money down, but we do a 70-30 split. So in the creator's favor. So we get 30% of the initial transaction only, not on subsequent transactions. And those are our 2 models.
Oh, beautiful. So you'll take care of all the marketing and, well, not the you'll make it beautiful.
For white glove service, we do some marketing. Yeah. Like we got some PR, we did some paid ads for this launch, and we'll do that for our white glove launches.
And they just give out 30% performance.
Yep. Correct.
That's amazing. And then, yeah, and this one, there's no value add as far as, mastermind, community, courses. This is pure art, right?
Yes and no. Oh, well, yeah, no community access, but physical painting, a video. We had a professional videographer film the painting, interviewing him about his craft. So you get that personal touch, and limited edition quantity. So
nice.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things I noticed here. Now, I don't want you to tell me if you know something. Don't tell me. But this is just my hacker brain talking. All these things sold for less than 1 ETH. This bad boy sold for 47 ETH. So now there may be a very legitimate story behind this, but I'm always like, well, how can I hack socially engineer this? Now, technically,
well, that was an auction. So that was the auction. These other ones are fixed price. but limited quantity.
Oh, okay, perfect. Because I was thinking, like, let's say I'm an artist and I want to get it out there, because this is proof, right? Like, if it's on here and I can check the Ethereum address, I can see, yes, this traded hands for 47 ETH. Now, I could technically, if I was so unethically inclined, I could do my own painting and then buy my own painting through an anonymous ETH address and show that it sold for 100 ETH. I would give up 2.5%, but all of a sudden now I'm an artist who has or verifiable proof that I've sold a product for $300,000. Like, I guess technically I could do that if I was, as I said.
You could do that if you've got $300,000 laying around.
Right. And I just wanted to give up 2.5%, which is pretty big, but
because
I see here, like this trade, are these bids?
Yeah, this one, just in full transparency, I don't know if what we're looking at is fully accurate, or if this was, but all the other ones that we looked at just there, the Manny Pacquiao, the fixed price ones, those are all accurate. I think we're updating this auction to be the new painting. So
gotcha.
Don't quote me on this one, but that's an example of how the auction would play. When it's live, you'd have a timer, and then you could make a bid and all that good stuff.
Right. Well, as I say, one of the so we know for a fact in our world of marketing and entrepreneurs, et cetera, becoming a New York Times bestseller is, you can either write a really freaking good book that everybody talks about, or you can buy your way in. And it's not just a matter of stroking a check, but there's a whole campaign around creating New York Times bestsellers. I know all of us, you may have engineered some of these, Jesse, all of us know people who have, and, it's oftentimes, the author may stroke a check for 100,000 or whatever it costs these days, but you're working with book buying groups, you're doing all this stuff, because obviously if you make it to that list, that says you're somebody. But in this world, where you actually don't need a secondary list to say you made it, if you have enough money, if you are a what do you call it, an artist or musician or something, I could see gaming the system. It's not robbing from anybody else, it's just establishing that you've got a pretty high value, right? That's at least my.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a hustle, if you're savvy, if you're a hustler a little bit, I think of it as priming the pump, not gaming the system. Yeah. But if you've got a little community, say, hey guys, inner circle stuff here, I'm going to drop some new art. Who will pick it up and exchange it between yourselves with real money, so we can show some initial traction, and then we'll launch it to the wider audience. I see that the same as, like, we'll put the Kindle version of a book available for sale before the print, so we can get fans to buy it and leave reviews, so that when the real launch happens, people see some actual activity. Those, in both cases, as long as it's real purchases and real people, I don't see anything wrong with it. It's only if you're like, faking it and putting fake numbers, and then somebody spends
absolutely real money. Well, and we're all business owners, we're all marketers. We all have to understand how to prime the pump, and even gaming the system, as long as nobody else is getting hurt. But that is part of the game, and it is one of the things, if you're so inclined, that's a possibility. But and I don't even see it really necessarily being unethical, but maybe that's just me.
No, I mean, think of any, tech company's growth strategy. They're like incentivizing or bribing you to share and invite all of your friends and all that stuff. It's just what incentives are you setting up? What are you offering?
Exactly. And the only real difference between doing that and not doing that is probably an extra zero at the end of your income that year. So
yeah, and speed, like when you sign up for some services, then they get you to share it right away, and then that can make things move very fast. But it's a different topic, I guess.
Absolutely. Okay, so now I'm going to make an introduction. So sitting quietly here for the first time in his life, likely, I love it, is my good friend Ori Bengal. So Ori and I have known each other for probably a decade. We met when I was first getting into digital marketing and internet marketing and info products and all this through mutual friends. And we saw each other, quite a bit. And this is back when Ori was, doing everything from WordPress to info products and whatnot. And we ran in the same circles of digital marketers and entrepreneurs. And then 10 years ago, he decided, I'm going to commit, and I'm going to let him tell the story, but he's like, I'm going to commit to do a new piece of art technically digital art every single day. He's done that for 10 years. And one of the reasons I brought him on is because he's a really phenomenal artist. He does most of his work is digital based. I've got one hanging on my wall. You can't see it, but it's back over here right now. And it was a very special piece to me when I lost my dog. 2 years ago, I posted it on Facebook, and he saw my video, and he grabbed a photo and did this amazing image and sent it to me, brought it to me, and tears were shed, and it was great. He's done this for other people as well, but he also every single day he creates this new avant-garde kind of piece of art, and he's commissioned pieces for Alice Cooper and some other people. He'll fill in some of the details, but more importantly, he's also an entrepreneur, and he has huge network of entrepreneurs. And these entrepreneurs that he knows are also digital marketers and people who know how to build value and create communities and how to drive traffic. And as I said, I've been pounding him since December going, you need to look at this really, really closely, because for somebody who does digital art with a big network of entrepreneurs, I think this is ripe for you. So I told him, come join the show. So Ori Bengal, welcome to Making Rap Business.
Thank you. Good to be here.
So have you been getting a lot out of the first half of the show?
Yeah, I took great notes. I've been, since you've been hammering me since December, and I think it was February, maybe March, when Beeple sold that auction for like 60 million. My inbox has been blowing up from anyone who's ever seen me on anything. It's
Everybody's
like
telling you to do it.
NFT. And I actually even did a deep dive into it. One of my fans reached out and said, hey, do NFTs. And thanks. And he's like, hey, you want to team up on it? And funny enough, a lot of people have reached out asking me to team up. And I've actually had to learn to actually ask, well, what's your experience? Because many people just saw me as an asset all of a sudden. And they actually knew nothing. They just saw the article. Like, hey, let me do this for you. Anyways, I was working to convert my entire asset base to, over 3,500 pieces to NFTs. And my buddy, who was gonna not only strategy and partnerships and stuff, but he was also gonna fund the gas fees and stuff. And his mother died, and I made a great painting, but his world changed everything. His life changed, so the whole project stagnated. And since then, oh my God, has the world and the world of NFTs changed? So here we are. I'm actually I'll do the 2-second version of my story instead of the usual 20-hour version, just because I want to hear you speak. This is inspiring as heck. I don't know. I was always an artist. I just didn't actually know it. I wasn't even showing my art for the longest time until in 2001, a girlfriend of mine saw it, said, oh my God, my mom works in galleries. I actually showed her your stuff. She wants to meet you. Said to do an art show. I found an art show. This is before Google, so I actually had to ask people, and I went through all this work. No one bought anything. I've also been an entrepreneur my whole life, so my brain said, well, no one bought anything, therefore you're not actually a good artist, and I stopped making art. Gave away my stuff, went on a road trip for 6 years, fully couch surfing. That's when Brad first met me. I was couch surfing Ori.com. And towards the end of my trip, 2011, I was in Maui. My buddy took me to all these galleries in Lahaina, and I felt absolutely heartbroken and shattered because I realized that I've not been doing the thing that's my thing, the thing I do all the time, no matter what, regardless of, how much you can or can't make it. And you don't hear parents telling your kids, oh, you should grow up and be an artist. You'll make a great living. They're like, don't be an artist, please. And so I realized that, and I tried doing a new work of art every day to make up for it. And that lasted 2 weeks. And then in 2012, I was thinking about my life. What do I want? What don't I want? And I remember that heartbreak. I'm like, I do not want that. And so this time, I'm like, how do I make it so I don't screw up the daily art, and I do make up for lost time? I do honor my own soul and keep doing this. And I was like, accountability. I just posted on Facebook, like, hey, new work of art every single day, whether it's, a masterpiece or a stick figure. And since then, I've slept very little. I don't know. I mean, like with I guess the things that I should probably interject, because they'll probably help with the conversation. As Brad said, yeah, I've got a ton of the people that literally wrote the book on Internet Market, Perry Belcher, Ryan Dice, Greg Hanley, Joe Polish, Lori Taylor, Brad Costanzo, and the list goes on. And I don't really leverage. A bunch of them have my paintings, and most of them have been paintings to make people cry. Although I understand for NFTs, it's not those one of a kind that are priceless to the person, but the things that have a more mass market appeal. Like what no one, Brad is not going to get real value or even want to sell off the one of a kind painting of his dog that I made because I saw him crying and saying that, oh my God, I wish I had this. I can't even find the photo of my dog when he fit in my hand. And I immediately dropped what I was doing and painted and did an age regression on his dog because I didn't have a picture. And, thankfully it was cute, but that's personal to just him.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
and I'm going to interject here real quick. So yeah, like you don't necessarily have a real theme around your art. Like you were talking about Junakino does, like he's the one who paints champions, right? Ori will paint anything that comes to his mind.
You got
in a good way, and that's all. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. Not bad.
Everything from like sci-fi, fantasy, portraits, pet portraits, people portraits, tons of naked ladies. Like sometimes abstract. You can, if you're really bored, you can kill a lot of time going through these over 3,500 pieces.
So Jesse, based upon the overview of what we've told you with Ori, like obviously just throwing art out for art's sake does not necessarily make it valuable. I do like what he did here is he had like a theme around it. He had, you get physical copy, you get a video, you get this other stuff. Knowing what you know, and ask any questions to Ori, but like let's see if we can come up with kind of a couple of like potential strategies that he could use Powerfan for and start to really utilize this tool. Like, do you have any ideas or questions that we might be able to pursue?
I do. Thanks for asking.
Yeah. Can I ask one clarifying question on something that you already said in the?
All right, if you want.
When you were talking about June stuff, and you pointed out the auction, and the person actually gets, a lithograph and a video and this and that. I was a little confused with the part earlier when you said every person, you talk about courses and stuff, and every person that gets the thing, let's say the 3 month of consulting, you actually have to honor it. Otherwise, like the part you're talking about with burning or passing it forward. And so you're not going to issue a new lithograph each time the first person who buys it gets the lithograph. If they sell it, they're selling the NFT, and it's up to them to include the lithograph, or the NFT lives on. Like that's the part I was confused about with when you attach it to physical real world assets.
Yeah, that is the 1 weak link in the chain, is that currently secondary sales that include something physical would be on the honor system. And therefore it's not a great strategy to think like we're going to have multiple secondary sales where someone's shipping a piece of art to different people. Now, I think it's valuable on the initial sale to buy or win and then receive that. But I would take a different strategy if you want to focus on secondary market sales. The fix for that would be, and I think it's already available, but to have like an escrow service or a storage where you buy it, the NFT signifies ownership, but you could choose to receive the art or leave it in a climate controlled storage area, something like that. So anyways, that's my thought there. But what I want to say to you is the first idea that comes is if you're doing a piece of art every day, there's literally no barrier to entry to setting up each one as an NFT. And you could even do a 24-hour auction. And so each day you do your piece of art, you post it as a NFT with a 24-hour auction. You could even have a no minimum. So whatever somebody wants, even if it's 10, 20 bucks, it could sell. But if something lands and people want it, then they've got 24 hours to bid it up. knowing that you're going to do a new one the next day and the next day. So you could set something like that up, or you could just have them not as an auction, but a unique one of one NFT that has whatever price you'd want to put on it. And those are two options where, just one additional step from what you're already doing, painting in that creative process. If the final step was, let's set it up as the NFT and then share that link out with my community, now you're really pulsing out not just something new and creative each day, but now there's literally an opportunity where if somebody likes one and they've been following you and now that's the one, boom, they're a click away from buying or participating in that and supporting you directly through that. So that's just ground level option based on you creating every day. You could do a collection that has a theme. So if it's like entrepreneurial heroes and you've got Ryan and Brad and a few others, you could have a collection and then there's a limited edition of each one or one of each. Or you could have any other theme as well, based on the art that you've created. So you could do something like that. Or you could have an auction where whoever wins gets a custom painting by you. So in this case, you could say, here, I paint every day. I've done it for years. I've worked with some amazing people, and this is your chance to have me do a custom painting of you. Whoever wins, I'll talk to you, get a sense for who you are, and then go to work. And that becomes the NFT. The NFT that they win becomes this custom piece of art. So those are a few ideas. I could probably run off more.
I'm down for anything you want to talk about, obviously, but that was actually something that I did write sort of as a question earlier, again, kind of repeating the same thing when you said, and you have to honor it again. So if they sell it, so on that one, I actually do the auction. It doesn't have an image yet because part of the auction of what you just said actually is to become the image for the NFT, because that's the custom thing. So when they sell that as an NFT, and I can even include a physical print for the person, obviously, because they'd want it for their wall or something. Now they got a real world asset as well, and that's worth money on its own. But they can pass the NFT on. But the person who's getting the NFT now has this painting that's for the other thing. They don't get to, talk to me and have me do an image again because the NFT now already has the thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So it's important to think like the initial offer. So having an auction and whoever wins gets a custom painting, that's compelling as the initial offer. May or may not have resale value, or there might be an issue there. But if you think, let's create something that has resale value baked into it, then that's going to be a limited edition series, a unique one of one asset, something that's a fully digitally delivered experience so that you're not shipping something physical. And now those can circulate to any number of people. And that's more of a design to drive resale value and collections versus like who wins a custom experience personally. Both are valid. And if you can marry those two, then there's possibly a holy grail opportunity there. So.
I do have a couple other questions. I've been studying heavily about NFTs and on and off since Brad got on my case about it. Thanks, Brad, by the way. I heard recently a real interesting thing that got my attention. This one artist, he's been crushing it, and what he does and is working towards as well is creating limited edition. Like he does really cool sports art, and so he'll go to conferences and people can pay for his autograph, but if you show him that you've got his token, his coin, then you get a free autograph and you get to you get admission to the VIP party for free. And so one question was what he did to create these was he just authored. It cost him about $6,000 to do 1,000 of these tokens, and anyone who wants it can just have one. But then, as it builds value, they're encouraged to sell them, and he obviously gets 23%, and eventually he's going to have passive income. So one, how do you even verify that someone has it? Like, not just checking the ledger, but if they show up to me and while I'm signing autographs, and they're like, oh, here, I got your coin. How do I know if they actually have it, or if it's they just download the GIF from OpenSea or whatever?
I mean, that's very easy. They'd
Check
have
the
to
ledger.
show you in their wallet. If they
Okay.
just showed you an image in their phone, then, but if you go to collectibles and then you see the NFT in a crypto wallet, then it's impossible to fake that.
Yeah.
Which is the whole point of crypto, is that it's fake proof. Sweet.
Now here's one idea I had, and this is like trying to maybe even establish more validity for, not validity, but social proof for Ori. So once more, I mentioned Ori knows a lot of entrepreneurs who have big lists and followings, etc. I mean, technically, he could take, I mean, a lot of them already have his paintings, which you could probably retroactively just create an NFT around the painting you sent and just send it to me. Say, hey, look, do you have an ETH address? Or if not, here's how to get it. I'm going to send you the NFT for this. In addition, you could go out and let's say you took, I'm making this up, 20 highly influential entrepreneurs with big lists and followings, and you can airdrop them a free NFT, right? And let them know that you're about to do an auction on Powerfan, and you're about to bring your art to the world via NFTs, etc., and that you wanted to give this, that, to them, just A, as a token of their appreciation, but that B, now they have an actual NFT of Ori Bengal. And if this auction does well, right, and then your NFTs get bid up, and let's say people are spending $30,000 for one of your pieces of painting, then they own also an Ori Bengal original that they got for free, which, it theoretically could cause the value of that to go up. They could be like, oh crap, this is great, I appreciate it, Ori, I'm going to go post this on Powerfan, and I'm going to sell this because obviously people want your stuff. And in addition, I don't know if they would do this, maybe at least on their social media, they would probably be willing to share your auction and talk about, hey, my friend Ori is launching this, go get it, it's going to be really exciting. So the more people that they tell about it, obviously it's not just helping you, it's potentially helping what they own as well. And the rising tide is lifting the boats. And Jesse, am I on track there with a potential strategy?
Great strategy. Imagine you airdropped an influencer a piece of art each day, Ori. So now instead we talked about you're creating art each day. You could put it as an auction. It could be a 24-hour no reserve auction or a fixed price. Alternatively, you could airdrop Brad one day, Ryan the next day, Perry the next day. You give them a free NFT, but build in let's say a 20% royalty, and say, here you go, I did this custom piece of art for you. Go ahead and sell it if you want. You may make a lot of money. Now they list it to their fans. Hey, check out this amazing artist did art, and I'm going to sell it. So who wants it? Now, let's say, I don't know.
Oh, dude, that's even gangster.
And now you get the royalty on the secondary sale. You get, here, Perry, here, I did a custom art for you. It's yours for free. Perry goes, look at this amazing thing. Who wants it? There's only one of them. It's an NFT. He uses all of his marketing. Now somebody buys it for $10,000, and now you're getting a piece.
Let me add a question.
And the next person.
Let me add a strategy and a question on there.
And the next, correct.
So the question is, okay, if Ori sends me an NFT and I decide to resell it now, because I'm not the creator of that. An NFT is technically a smart contract, right? I'm not the creator of that. So I can't necessarily add in, or can I, hey, I'm selling this, and if you buy it, it unlocks my free course.
You could, except you wouldn't be able to update the NFT. You could communicate that to your audience. Hey, whoever buys this or whoever wins this, just verify, and then you're going to get, access to my stuff too.
Dude, that's
and then you just deliver them, you just fulfill it via email or whatever.
This goes back to Ori's other question. So how would I know that we're not in front of each other? We're across the country or whatever. And then Jesse, you say, yeah, Brad, I bought that NFT. I go, how do you prove it? Like how?
I'll just show you just look on the blockchain. Like,
but how do I know that because that Ethereum address is that is, what do you call it? That's publicly out there on the blockchain, but it's anonymous. So how do I know it belongs to you?
Oh, you just have that person indicate that this is my address. And then you just show that.
Be able to see that on the blockchain that.
Yeah.
You'd have to communicate with the person to correlate what you see on the blockchain with what they have.
Oh, okay. I think I get that. Okay.
Like I can show you, I can send you a text with my VIN number, and then you can run the VIN number to make sure that it matches what's publicly listed.
Well, yeah, but your name is not associated with your address.
Right.
Correct.
So how would I, this is what I'm missing. How would I know? You told me you bought it, but I'm like, well, on Powerfan, it just says this random.
Yeah, just say, you don't even have to ask. I mean, their public wallet address is not a secret, but you could just say, confirm the final 4 digits of your wallet address, or send me your wallet address.
Is that secret?
No, like you could see this, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
This is.
Yeah, but if that's not secret.
No, exactly. But you could see and just see on whoever the recipient is or whatever the
right. But if anybody
is.
could find that, couldn't they just go claim it?
Only, I'm not, maybe I don't know what you're asking. It's very easy to verify who owns an NFT, provided.
Right, but can't somebody just grab, like, okay, you just sold an NFT on Powerfan.
And it's listed publicly, and I can cut and paste that and send it to you and say, hey, that's my address.
Yeah. How do you know it's how do you know that's address belongs to Brad? If it's publicly available and I can just go copy it off Etherscan and I send it to you and I go, I own that. Well, there's no public record that says, okay, Brad Costanzo owns this Ethereum address. It could have been Ori's address and I just claimed it. And
then the real person goes to claim, and you're like, I already gave it away.
I mean, we're kind of going down a rabbit hole. This is easily solved. I mean, if you just have somebody open their wallet and show you, that resolves it.
That's true.
Or you put you put a phrase as unlockable content that you've never said anywhere publicly. So you say, what's the unlockable secret phrase?
Boom.
And that's your key.
Writing that one down.
Perfect. Yeah. Yep. I love that. Yeah. Okay. And then so going along this lines, I love that. Like, Ori, like sending your art out to people, telling them to get an ETH address if they don't have one, doing this, you're sending them art. So you're you're doing it as an appreciation. And then you're letting them know, by the way, I'm about to do a big thing. And then, like exactly what you said, like now you can get people behind it because they have a reason to promote your stuff beyond just, hey, he's my friend. Like it'll make theirs more valuable. But like Jesse just said, they could also just go, well, hey man, I appreciate it. Do you mind if I resell this? You go, no, I actually put it up for bid. See if you can get.
Yeah.
Throw in some bonuses. Make a fun thing out of it. But even if they just post and say, oh, woke up to a fun surprise from my friend Ori, sent me this amazing piece of NFT art. You get a few people doing that, even if they're not selling it. And now your name recognition goes way up.
Absolutely. And that's a fun thing. That's been a life lesson. Every single thing that I do and I am is a marketing asset. I'm on stage at Alice Cooper. I'm doing a thing with Miss USA right now. I can't like give all the things, but basically short version is like, if every single one of the Miss USA pageants shares the paintings and time lapse, that builds my brand. It's just global name recognition. When Picasso is like nameless, no one cared if you got his thing, but now that he's so famous, people will give you millions for when he signed his name on a napkin. Previous to that, it was just a dirty napkin. So
he was a smart guy. He was creating constantly as well.
Oh yeah, so his hero level. So I read up. Obviously, I'd be an idiot if I didn't get on this call with you and read up on Powerfans.io beforehand. And yeah, a lot of it obviously spoke to me as an author, and I am working on my book. I'll talk to you on another session about the actual book distribution. But I saw that you have exclusive unlockable content monthly for the cost of a book. So basically a monthly subscription. We didn't really talk about that in the first part of this episode. And one of the things that I was kind of working on already, but kind of halted because I was curious about how I could maybe work that in with NFTs. Is like the Art of the Month Club, right? Instead of cheese or wine or dog treats, you get, this could be like the NFT version. I was thinking of
Oh
physical
yeah,
version.
you could sell, 50 NFTs that give access to Ori's Art of the Day Club if you want. But it could be Art of the Day, Art of the Month. Whoever owns those NFTs, you've got the wallet address to airdrop them your latest art creation on a weekly, a monthly basis. And it's super streamlined because even if someone sells that, then you're just saying, okay, time to distribute my next piece of art. What are the 50 addresses that are receiving it? You don't even have to know who they are.
That's
And the
super cool.
50 addresses. So if Brad buys one of the original 50, and now I've sent him for free.
A year later, you sent me 12 pieces of art.
12 pieces of art, and then he decides to sell it to you. And so now Powerfans knows that this is the, or whatever, however
Yeah, so check this out. Check this out.
it
So
will send to whoever the new person is.
what you can see here, we're on CoinMarketCap. This is like a tracker, and we're on the NFT section. So when you do a collection, we've heard of CryptoPunks, or some people have. So you can see here that the overall collection, that there's just under 10,000 pieces in the collection, currently owned by 3,119 people. So that means most people own an average of 3 CryptoPunks, right? The average price, if there's a floor price, so the cheapest piece in this collection is selling for 1.355. And so you get data. If you create a collection like Ori's Art Club, you would eventually have a collection like this where, let's say there'd be, 50 or 100 members, but those could be changing hands a lot, right? So you could have number of transactions, floor price, and other things like that, volume over 24-hour period for the whole collection.
I guess.
But then the bonus is whoever owns that is getting regular art airdrops from you for being in the club.
And as you do more stuff with your own art career and your own persona, and you become more popular, the art they hold and the art they're getting for free becomes more valuable, and they can either hold on to it or sell it.
What Brad said. So if you're airdropping art, your profile goes up. People are in your club because they got the NFT, but now they're receiving art. They could sell that. Now they're selling art. They're making money for being in the club. You're making money for hosting the club. And if people want to sell their membership to the club and get those free art airdrops, then they need to buy one of the NFTs that gives them club access. So, I think we're coming up with some amazing ideas here.
This is why I invited both y'all on here. And the nice part is
bacon wrapped business for real.
That's right. The nice part about this is, and I have a feeling this won't be the last time the two of you talk, is that, you have this white glove service. So you can help.
We can make that all happen for you, Ori. What I just described, you don't have to learn another thing about technology for that to play out.
He's like Pedro on Napoleon Dynamite. All your dreams will come true.
I
vote for Pedro.
I've been doing this on my own for so long, and I'm often the bottleneck. Therefore, often many really solid ideas have dropped. Recently, I've gotten some management in Beverly Hills, and it's been so useful. I mean, the easiest example is just I need to get a car, but I was just too busy working on a couple of deadlines I had to deliver. They got me to booking. I never have help. So this is a really new concept for me, in trusting. First, every single thing that I do, I'm putting my reputation on the line, right? You know that quote, it takes a lifetime to build a reputation and seconds to destroy it. So, I've had people trying to rep me for years, but I'm going with gut feeling. I don't know that I trust this person wholeheartedly. Right. So on that last idea though, since I'm just midway through writing the sentence, I was still just trying to be confused. So if they have the NFT that the club membership, and because they have the club membership, they're getting free daily whatever, free daily art as an NFT only goes out to these people, and so when they sell the club NFT, although I would think that no one would ever want to resell those because they're getting free daily art, and I'm doing my real world assets to build up my brand every day.
But people need money for any reason, though.
Yeah, well, everyone loves to make money on an investment, but so once, but I'm sending to an Ethereum wallet is where I'm sending those daily things. So once I'm selling it through, or once I'm sending the thing, if they sell the thing, how do I know that the ETH address changed? Like where to send it to? Does the platform do that for me automatically? Like, so I'm selling to token NFT number 47.
No, I see what you're asking. I see what you're
And
asking.
so if you're like, cool, I just made 100 grand off this, I got a whole bunch of NFTs that I can now sell, whatever. I'm going to sell this to a friend of mine. Here's a favor, whatever. Here, I'll sell it to you for $30,000. Now you're a member of Ori's club. I no longer am. I'm sending it. But when I got the ETH wallet initially that I sent the token to for the entry, that was yours. I'm still sending to you, or because you just sold it to Brad, when I'm airdropping stuff, whatever tool I use for airdropping those is updated with whichever address has it to. Because I'm not selling to the token, I'm saying to the ETH address, is my understanding.
Correct.
Okay.
So I wouldn't do daily airdrops, but if it's weekly or monthly, then it's fine because you'll have to mint those NFTs to send them to everybody. But all you do is when you're getting ready to send them, you look at your collection like we just saw, who are the holders today,
Okay.
who are the holding wallet addresses for my club NFTs, and that's the address that's getting this drop.
Yeah.
And that's it, simple. You don't actually even need to know their name. You just
Right.
check the wallet address for everyone that's holding an NFT in your collection.
I'll make it art of the month because I'm a bit ADHD, and looking at that many numbers multiple times a month would drive me nuts. And it also, one of the things that people have warned me over the years, is one of the reasons I don't sell a lot of my art. I make it, a lot of people get to see it, a lot of times I get messaged and they're like, dude, I already love that painting, can I buy it? Yeah, all right. Or not sure yet. And just painting the prints, people have offered me like, we're just about at 5 figures on it, and I just like having it, so I haven't sold it. But I got warned about it. Isn't it bringing the value of your work down? The fact that there are so many of them, because scarcity is what builds exclusivity. Now, obviously, if only, that's the whole point of limited edition prints. Only 5 people can actually have this particular one. So that doing it monthly also kind of,
there's definitely something to that. Well, and this can also be one of those ways where, like, if you are doing something every day or whatever, hey, the only people who are really getting those are the existing NFT holders of the art club, right? So it's not just being broadcast to absolutely everybody, but there's a lot of opportunities here that, and conversely, one of the ways that I think, obviously my network, but then, or your network, especially if you start to do some of these strategies of finding ways to partner with these other influencers, Dice and Perry and all these other people that really well, and they're seeing what you're doing. Like, you don't have to use Powerfan, but I think you'd be crazy not to. They start to see this, then this can bring even more visibility to what Jesse's doing in his platform, because obviously he can benefit from, the people know are all the creators and the entrepreneurs. And
this would be a good time, Ori, to share that we have a Power Partner program. So if you bring creators or somebody to the platform, you get 5% of their of what they create.
Yeah.
So
not just the first thing, but the ongoing smart contract.
everything.
That's some fine print right
Or-
there, you know.
Ori thinks I just did this out of the love of my heart for him.
Ah, I see.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
I
that's
wasn't
what I
going to
did.
spill the beans, but
Hey.
guess what? Brad's a power partner. Representing.
Good. Good.
But I actually, but in all honesty, that has nothing to do with why I brought you on here. I literally just because I've been telling you to do this forever, and I'm trying to learn about NFTs too. So I want a guinea pig to watch and even potentially help strategize on this, because the more you learn by doing, and in this space, that's people are doing new stuff all the time. So I just think there's tremendous opportunity here, and this actually kind of brings us to kind of the wrap up. We've been on the call for over an hour now, and although I'm sure we could all do this for hours, we all have lives. Ori has art, but
I've been rescheduling meetings on the sideline to keep this rolling because
we apologize.
Yeah.
But I'm glad hopefully it's been useful for you.
Oh, yeah.
I canceled on everything and everyone today, so I can go as long as you
Hopefully
want.
it's worth it.
I knew better.
So let's
Make some NFTs, Ori.
well, speaking of making NFTs, I have no idea how it'll do, but we can test it out. So you said I can make this episizzle, because mere traditional podcasts have episodes, but Bacon Wrap Business has episizzles. I can make this a NFT, right? And then we'll list it on Powerfan. We'll promote it. Whoever owns it, well, I can obviously bonus it up with something. It could be a free consult. It could be a copy of
free portrait to whomever buys the first one. So
there it is.
Partner with Ori on that, right? Ori gets one of those. Perfect. And then if they buy it, did you say you could airdrop them some PFAN tokens?
Oh yeah,
2,500, I believe.
So if you want to auction it, Brad, Ori will do a custom painting and we'll airdrop 2,500 PFAN tokens to whoever gets it.
And I will give them their.
Now, do PFAN tokens at this moment have a? Are they actively being traded?
Currently 4 cents a token.
4 cents a token. Okay.
And just
for now,
since it's part of the sizzle reel, they're based in Ethereum, so you can trade them, so you can convert them to Ethereum, or like
that's coming real soon. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, it's built on Ethereum, so that's correct.
I like it. Well, we're going to do that. So while people are listening, I guess all I have to say is after this thing comes out, we're going to give them a link, right? And it'll be maybe like baconwrappedbusiness.com / NFT
PFANs.
Yeah, or Powerfan NFT. Or I'm going to put it in the show notes. So if you're listening, look in the show notes somewhere and find it. So it'll probably be baconwrappedbusiness.com / NFT. That's all you need to know. Done. Easy. So hopefully my listeners aren't like meh, but we'll see.
Well, if you made it this far,
show me you love me, people. Show me you love me.
I'll make it worth their while. When I say I'll do a portrait, let me clarify what that means. First of all, I'll include a link in the show notes so that you can actually see some of my art. People are paying 5 and 6 figures for these, so it's not. I'd like to think they wouldn't be doing that if it really sucked. But additionally, so yours will be digital one. You can use it for social media. You can use it for your personal branding, for your websites, whatever. But I will also send you a physical print of it for your wall at 24 by 30 inches, which the minimum that you'd pay for that is $3,000. So.
Damn, look at that. Were you talking about they get a custom portrait like of themselves or something they want, right?
They gotta send me some pictures, and you're not limited to reality.
I have another idea. I would give them a choice. Because obviously in the unlockable content, we can give them a special link or something to where they can say, hey, I'm the winner, right? What I would do, I would give them a choice of either a personal thing, or maybe you can pick some of the art that you've already done that is not personal, that might be something that they would want to get airdropped anyway, because if it's personalized, the resale value may be lower. But if it's unpersonalized and just actual art about something that came out of your wacky mind, then that might be more valuable on the secondary art. You can maybe give them a choice, almost like, all right, pick one of these 10 pieces that are available. These are pieces that you really like, or request a custom work.
I'm going to stick for your episode with the personal portrait, because that's worth more than $3,000, and people will do a lot of things for that.
That's true.
Compared to a personal, a public token, which may or may not do something. Hopefully my success continues and it'll be worth millions. But now they have something on their actual wall, and it's also a story for a lifetime. It might be a memorial for someone. Like, my unofficial slogan is "I make grown-ups cry." Unofficial, because obviously that could get taken out of context.
Well, and technically they could do it for somebody else, right? Like if one of their friends had a child, with an illness. Yep.
That's a specialty. Hell, I mean, I will go ahead, just to protect Brad, me, and them. You can't just send me a picture of your favorite celebrity and have me that, because the picture is probably copyrighted, and I don't feel like having any of us sued right now. We're trying to do something nice.
Well, we will figure that out, but this is awesome, guys. Okay, so
24 by 30.
Yes. Okay, so wrapping up. First of all, if all y'all have a book you want published, Jesse can hook you up. LifestyleEntrepreneurPress.com or?
Oh yeah, behind this banner is my publishing banner.
Nice, I love it. So Lifestyle Entrepreneur Press. So you can not only do books, but books with NFTs. So it's not a either or, it's a this and this if you want. Obviously, Powerfan, or actually, since I am like a power partner, I'm gonna request that they go to baconwrapbusiness.com/Powerfan, and I'll forward that to wherever. That way I make money if you make money. Yay me. Second of all, if they want to bid on this epissizzle and get all of this other benefits and bonuses, which will be listed on the Powerfan site, go to baconwrapbusiness.com/NFT and get in touch with Jesse. Go to Powerfan. Think about how you can do this. Listen to this episode like 17 times if you want. Like it, review it, and think about how you can use this. I was just in a mastermind the other night, Jesse, and I was like 12 others, and I brought this up 2 nights ago that I'm going to be talking to you, and they were all kind of excited to hear what's possible. So I'll be sharing it with them. So if you guys are listening, think about what's possible, because this is bleeding edge stuff and it's just beginning.
One final thing, Brad, anyone that's listening to this, anyone in your audience that signs up on Powerfan, we'll give them 100 PFAN tokens to get your feet wet and try your hand at creating NFTs yourself. So
now, what is the PFAN token used for? Maybe we didn't talk about that. What is the token used for on the platform?
Yeah, so starting very soon, you'll be able to buy NFTs with PFAN. And within the next couple months, we're going to have a power player. So you can both earn while you learn. So we're going to have incentives to read books, share content, listen to audiobooks. And the PFAN will be on an exchange within the next 4 to 6 months. So
beautiful. So like a reader or even like a podcast, like I could have Bacon Wrap Business on the Powerfan audio player, and as they're listening, they're earning PFAN tokens.
Correct.
Dude.
And so are you while they're listening. Maybe fuel for the next episode.
Shit is so exciting. I love it.
Me too.
So next episode is being recorded tomorrow, right?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I'll be back.
Well, gentlemen, I use that term loosely. Just kidding. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate this. It's always a blast when I learn a ton about stuff on my podcast. And my listeners know that I've got a habit of doing this, and that's why I don't do a daily show or even a weekly show all the time. I only have people on the show that I have legitimate intellectual curiosity about things, because I want to actually put them into play. So I've been told by a lot of people that this is one of the things that makes my show really enjoyable, because they know that I'm not just giving people airtime just to promote and plug their stuff. And if you're listening and you like that, go leave me a review on iTunes. It definitely helps other people find this. And if you have any questions, send me an email to askbrad@baconwrapbusiness.com. And then follow all the links in the show notes to all the cool bonuses that you hear us concocting for you. And then go follow Ori on social media, because when his NFT auctions and drop happens, you're going to get to be early mover and say you were a part of it from the beginning. And I just can't thank you guys enough.
Thanks so much,
go.
Brad, and great conversation, Ori, and thanks everyone for listening.
Man, I should have been recording this. Just kidding. See you guys on the next episode.